Hi, Fashion Dolls. It is Motivation Monday, May 16th, and welcome to another new episode of Style by Stevie. Today we have a very handsome, sexy, talented face. He is a singer-songwriter, and I discovered him right on YouTube. Joining me today, ladies and gentlemen, we have Cameo Holiday, and I'm so excited for this interview. Special thanks to my girl, Blue Haze Clothing, for this gorgeous dress. It is called the Vixen dress, and it definitely speaks for itself. Check out the new look. It is up, Fashion Dolls. Let me send this to Cameo so that we can get this interview started. I hope you guys all are doing awesome, as I am. And it's Monday, so that means it's back to the grind. We have some more amazing guests throughout this week coming on the show, so you guys just have to stay tuned. So we're waiting on Cameo to get here, and without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Cameo Holiday. All right. It should be coming in a minute, ladies and gentlemen.
Excuse me.
Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. Welcome, welcome. I can see you now.
Okay.
All right. Perfect. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
I can hear you and see you just fine. Can you hear and see me?
It's coming in, ladies and gentlemen. Give it a sec.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with the handsome, the talented Cameo Holiday, and I found him on YouTube. I was going through and I was just looking through music. Flow Trees Say Yes is one of my favorite singles, and I seen his cover of it, and I was just blown away. So he's done so many other covers as well too in the music game. He's released some of his own music, which we'll talk about throughout this interview. But before we get into this interview, how has 2022 been for you thus far as an artist? Because I know it's been so difficult with all the shutdowns and so many regulations and things. How has it been for you thus far from 2022?
2022 for me has been staggered, if I can say that. I basically have been more in a creative atmosphere than anything. So I've just been creating, and I've been getting back into shows and constantly working on vocals, constantly working on content, and trying to decide which songs would be best for me to cover. When I did Say Yes, I had practiced that song forever ago, and I just never put a cover up. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you like it. I'm happy that you found me. So I'm ecstatic.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what's been going on.
So tell us a little bit about you, where you grew up, and how did you get your start into music? Because you've been doing this for a minute now.
Okay.
Give it a sec, ladies and gentlemen. IG will play on our time. It'll do that. It'll buffer and then it'll come back. So give it a sec, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just joining in, we are here with Cameo Holiday, and we're discussing his music. Very talented, right on YouTube. Be sure you guys go and subscribe to his YouTube channel. I've interviewed a plethora of artists here on my platform. It's such a blessing to have here. We have some more amazing creatives coming throughout the week here to the Dollhouse. So you guys just have to stay tuned.
To answer your last question, where am I? Originally when I was like 16. I didn't start music until I was at the tender age of like, I got really, really late start when it came to, singing and, getting into production and what have you. So throughout my high school years, you know, from sophomore to senior, I actually started to sing. But I fell in love with the music immediately, extremely fast, immediately. My dad has always sang as I was younger, you know, when I was a kid or whatever, he was a vocalist, sang me off. It was awesome. Um, and I to get a relationship with him. And what happened was I ended up running into a friend of mine. His name is Harold Copeland, and we have an EP that's dropping soon called Rain Forever. But when I first heard him sing, he was 15 years old, sounding like a grown man. I was like, wow, he can really, really, really sing. Earlier, I heard another vocalist, and she was phenomenal. So I was just like, we got some real singers here. I said, I've never heard anybody sing like this that wasn't signed. So I was like, if they can do it, I can do it. And I fell in love with music immediately after that. Immediately after that. I've always had a thing for music, but I really fell in love with it after that. Let me see my internet working.
Give it a minute, ladies and gentlemen. It's going in and out a bit. All right, he's back. So, who are some of your musical influences? Because I see a little bit of all. You've done so many covers. So, who are some of your favorite singers? Give it a sec, ladies and gentlemen. It's buffering on us. All right, we're back. Yes, we're back.
My musical influences, like I said, my father, God rest his soul, and then I have an uncle that was very, 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 very detrimental to my vocal development. His name was LD, and he was the one that took me under his wing and kind of like taught me how to sing lead. You know what I'm saying? My dad was more like learn how to sing background first, and then you can step into the forefront. And I was like, I want to be able to just sing. Teach me how to sing. So they were my major influences. And then after I started to develop a voice to an extent, I became, because back in high school I was a first tenor, so I sang really, really, really high. So like my musical influences when I was in high school was people like Jesse Powell, amazing vocalist, Kevon Edmonds, After Seven, those kind of things, Genuine, and RL from RL from Next. So as I grew older and puberty finally hit, I had to change. Like my voice dropped from being a first tenor to like a low baritone or a low tenor, or however you want to say it. And it dropped, so I had to find new artists to develop from. So I listened to a lot of Drew Hill, a lot of Jagged Edge, Gerald Levert, a lot of the Leverts, the OJs, the Temptations, all of those greats. You know what I'm saying? So when I started creating my own music, I tried to infuse what I've learned from them into my own sound, my own style. And I listened to a lot of Dave Hollister. Dave Hollister is one of my favorites. And then another unsigned artist, his name is Terrell Carter. I don't know if y'all know him, but if you don't know him, you need to get to know him. The brother is amazing. Like, by far one of the best vocalists I've ever heard, period. Ever heard. So, but yeah, he's definitely a big influence. And so yeah, those are some of the vocalists. Like literally, it's a long list. There's actually more than that, but they all have influenced me in one way or another.
Okay. And I can definitely see the influence. And your voice is sort of in between. You said when you started off, you was a tenor, but it's in between. When I heard the Say Yes cover and so many other covers that you've done, it's sort of in between. You still have your tenor, your soprano, you're able to hit those high notes, but it's just, toned down a bit. And we have another singer in the audience. Shout outs to B Brown actor, singer, who just
How you doing, sir? How you doing?
He says he was on Empire, yes, and he's worked alongside Tyler. So if you're familiar with Terrell,
yes,
definitely.
Yes. That's where I first found him, and I was just like, I've never heard anybody sing like that. But I was like, I'm determined. to kind of learn. You know, I want to see what I can do, like down in that register, find out those kinds of things. And then Anthony Hamilton's another big influence. Like I said, the list goes on. List goes on.
So
Yeah.
what are some of your favorite genres of music? Because you've named people who've done just a plethora from gospel to R&B soul to neo soul. Like it's so many genres. And I know a lot of artists
Yeah,
like being characterized. So what are your thoughts on that?
I feel like artistry is artistry. I don't feel like anybody that's an artist should be categorized. You know what I'm saying? You have to be in a category now in order to be judged or whatnot, or to win a certain award in a certain category. But I feel like if you're an artist, there is no limit to your creativity. When people put themselves in a box is when they start to limit their creativity. And I think Lil Wayne is a very, very, he's one of those people, you know what I'm saying? Because he's done hip hop, he's done rock, he's done pop, he's done, you know, everything under the spectrum because he didn't limit himself to a particular genre. So he was able to do them all, and you know, he was successful at all of it. So like I feel like artistry is just it's very fluid. So like if you're in the gospel, you can sing soulful music. If you're into blues, you can still sing country music. If you're into soft rock or you're into heavy metal, you can still sing blues and soul. Like it's all fluid. You can still do neo soul in those vocals. Just you know, it's very fluid. So like never limit yourself. I feel like if people put themselves in a box, that's where they'll stay. So like I've done EDM. I got a song that I did that was EDM. I've actually done a soft rock song. I've done a lot of stuff. So like it's giving. Like whatever you need done, we can make it happen. So like yeah, I feel like all of it. It's music. It's a universal language. So don't put yourself in a box. You lose the universal. So
And I agree with you on that 100%. I was talking to one of my girlfriends just the other day, and we were having a conversation about Fantasia. Fantasia, she's able to go from R&B to gospel and do so many range, and so was God bless her soul. She's one of my favorite singers, Whitney Houston.
one of mine too. One of mine too.
She was able to do that if she needed to, and she would put a little bit of her gospel influence. Like you can tell these ladies grew up in the church. Like almost every singer from Tony Braxton, whomever, has started off in the church. And then they went on, and as their career has progressed on, you can tell there's a little bit of that influence. You've mentioned Anthony Hamilton. I think of Urban Mystique, who's another neo soul singer. I think of Jill Scott, Erykah Badu. Like it's so many that have that range that are able to put that gospel influence and still have that soulful impact.
Yes, indeed, and they do it well. Jasmine Sullivan's another.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, the list could go on. Like we could go on and on and on about that. That we'll be here all day with that one. But yeah, for sure, definitely.
What does music make you think about? What does music make you think when you're writing, when you're in your zone, when you're recording your music?
I am in my happy place. I am in my zen. I am in my bag. When I'm doing music and I'm focused and I'm writing, I'm producing, or I'm creating something, or I'm creating a harmony, or I'm trying to figure out what range this song may have. I am in my happy place. Like the studio where I'm sitting right now is my happy place. If I could do music and get paid for it, that is just a bonus. I love music. I have fallen in love with music, and I am deeply in love with music. So that's where I'm at. Where I'm thinking about it just all depends on the track that I'm working on or where I'm at in life at that point in time. Maybe I'm going through something and I need to write to get out of it. Or maybe I need to write to heal from something, or I need to sing to let my emotions fly. It just all depends on the day and time. And sometimes, most of the time, I create amazing music when I'm at my lowest point, and the lowest point that I possibly could be. I could be broke and stressed out about something or going through something in a relationship or whatnot, and I can get a pen and a pad and get behind this keyboard and create something, and I'll be in my zen. And when I'm finished, I have all my emotions out, everything that I was going through, I'm no longer bothered about. And it's just my happy place. It's just my happy place. That's all. That's the best way to describe it.
Okay. Okay. Definitely. Definitely. So, what are the different emotions and where do you get your inspiration from when you're writing music? We're going to talk a little bit about your EP and your project that you released, Emotions, which is absolutely amazing. And you already know one of my
Thank
favorites.
you.
So I was playing it in my stories, announcing that you were coming on the show, which is No One Can Love You Better, which is one of my favorites. So where do you get the inspiration from for writing your music?
Like I said, a lot of times it's where I'm at in a place. Like the I Can Do You Better joint was like I was in the studio and I was with a friend of mine and she was going through something, like going through it real bad, real tough with her boyfriend or whatnot. And I me being on the outside looking in on the relationship, I didn't know all of the details, but I know she deserved better. So that's where that song came from. I can do you better. Like I can do better for you. Just got to give me the chance to, you know what I'm saying? And it was a very intimate song because of where it went lyrically, where I wanted it to go lyrically. And it was super intimate. The song was really intimate. And she still to this day doesn't know that song is about her, but it was super intimate as to where it should go or where it could have gone had I made the move to do so. But it was a very intimate song. So like it just depends. Like it could be with anything. I was in a relationship and we were in the honeymoon stage and everything was going great. It was blissful and I was happy. And that comes through on that track. Very, very laid back and calm, but smooth and, like, yeah, give you that vibe. And then Brand New was another honeymoon stage version. And it was like being in a relationship, after being in a relationship that was really, really turbulent, very toxic, and you come out of it and you find somebody that just makes you feel brand new. You know what I'm saying? You're just like, oh, it's a brand new vibe, brand new feel. This feels good to me. I want to continue to have this. So yeah. And then what was the other song on there? Give me a chance. I'm What You Need. That song again was inspired by a situation, pretty much. Like I ran into an old friend, like the beginning of it is exactly how it happened. It was like, I ain't seen you in a hot minute. How you been? You know what I'm saying? And she was like, I just need a friend. I just need somebody to love me for me and such and such. I said, okay, So I took that situation and I put it into a song, literally put that entire thing into a song. And it was one of my faves because the harmony and progression in that is just like everywhere. There's probably about 10 layers of harmony on that song. It's crazy. So it gets very intricate, but some of it gets lost in the details with the mix and stuff. But if you get a chance to really listen to it, the harmony arrangement is one of my favorites. So, yeah, that whole EP just kind of came together. It was like an R&B trap soul type of a thing. And I love the vibes on it. So like when I was creating it, I produced everything, I mixed and mastered everything on that album, which is not a first for me, but a first in a long time for me. So it was awesome. It's awesome.
So what advice would you give to up and coming artists? Because like I've had Jamai Music on the platform, who's also an indie artist, and he's done some big things as well too throughout his music career. And the thing about it is, he says that as an independent artist, it's difficult, writing, producing, doing all of this on yourself. Like, how do you find that balance?
Man, you gotta love what you do first off. Because anything that you're starting, even if you were starting a business, at the beginning of it, it is extremely hard. The consistency that you have to have, the money you have to have behind you, those things are really, really hard. And being an artist, you are a business. So, you have to think of it that way, and you have to love what you do, because a lot of times you don't get paid for what you do. You just love what you do. A lot of times as an artist, you do not get paid. You go do shows and you break your back for these people. And a lot of times as an independent artist, they scam you out of your money. Like, oh, you pay me $250, you can get on stage for such and such. And then you pay the $250 to get on stage. You got 5 minutes to sing, and then they kick you off. Or they don't really deliver what they say they're gonna deliver. Or this A&R is gonna be here, and if you win this competition, you can go talk to this A&R, and you find out that the A&R is a barbershop owner from Texas. It's you, you just have to kind of pick and choose what you want to do. You got a real life when you become an independent artist, you have to be everything because money is a major factor. Like having your own studio equipment, it cuts out the middleman, and it boosts your creativity because now you can get in the lab whenever you want to. Like as a singer, some days your voice is on point. You're on point 100%. And now it's like, and if you don't have your own lab, you got to wait to get in the lab. So wait 3 days, and now your voice isn't where it was 3 days ago. So now it's like, okay, we got to force this session. So yeah, invest in yourself. If you don't do anything else as an independent artist, invest in yourself. Learn music theory. These are my things. Learn music theory, invest in yourself, and love what you do. Those 3 things, invest in yourself, and be consistent at what you do. Be consistent at what you do. Be extremely consistent.
And we've got a question from you from B. Brown. He wants to know, do you ever get stuck in a rut creatively? If so, how do you get out of it? Because I know some singers and songwriters get writer's block, and it's just like, I can't find anything to write about, but there's always inspiration out there somewhere.
So what I do is when I get stuck in a rut like that, I try to find chord progressions that I don't normally sing to. I try to find something to spark me. Like I'll get on YouTube and there's a plethora of chord progressions out there, from rock chord progressions to anything on earth. And like if it's a genre that I've never tapped into, like let's say I wanted to do something like reggaeton. So I would look up reggaeton and play around and figure out a way to create my own sound in that genre. And that gets me out of my rut because it's like, and life experiences. As a writer, as a singer, songwriter, the whole king caboodle, there's inspiration all around you. You just have to look for it. Sometimes it hits you right smack dab in the face, and then sometimes you got to pull it out of thin air. But it's all there. It's all there. It's around you all of the time. I had a friend of mine. His name was we called him Gemini, and he was the type of person was like, he said, there is no way you can run out of things to write with life moving forward. And I never really understood that until I started writing. And like, if I showed you my archives is 8 days of music that could just play like over and over again, and you wouldn't hear the same song twice. So he said, as long as life is moving, you have something to write about. So like, I never really thought about it, and I was just like, dang, you know, and then you run into the problem of, have I said that before?
Right.
Did I do that in another song somewhere? So you have to go back and you have to look. And a lot of times you can be your own inspiration. Like for me, like I said, I got a lot of music, a lot of old stuff that I haven't released, a lot of stuff that a lot of people haven't heard. So sometimes I'll go back in my archive and I'll be like, this was nice. Let's see if we can flip that and make that trap. Or let's flip that and see if we can make this neo soul. Let's flip that and see if we can't make this EDM. Let's flip this and see what it would sound like in a blues vibe. Those kinds of things. So yeah, like it's always around you, always around you. You just gotta look for it. Find an old artist or artist that you've never listened to before, like or like somebody in Louisiana. Find an artist in Louisiana. Find an unsigned artist somewhere. Find something that you don't readily listen to and see if it helps inspire you. Because I mean, it's out there. We have the internet. There's no excuse. Yeah. There's no excuse. So yeah, always look for something different to help spark that interest again. Spark that, get you out of that rut. You know what I mean? That's what I do. Literally.
Blue Haze Clothing. Thank you so much, girl, for this amazing dress. This dress is everything. If you guys have not seen it, please go and check out the photos. The photos are up right now. Shop Blue Haze Clothing, Black owned. If you're in the Atlanta area, get your woman something special from Blue Haze. Trust me, the dress that I'm wearing today is definitely a head turner. So take a look at that second pic.
Okay.
But
definitely will.
We're here with Cameo Holiday, ladies and gentlemen. We're discussing his music. So the EP is called Emotions. Tell us, where did you get the inspiration for this title for the album?
For me, it was because this is Emotions like part 1.5 part 2 or whatnot. Because I originally did another Emotions album, and that one had like 15 tracks, and I was going through some things when I originally did that version. So I wanted to do like a part 2 of some music that I had created a while ago. And I feel like sometimes in the men's half of R&B, they lack that emotion sometimes. Like it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be like, I'm happy in this situation. Hi, how you doing, Blue? Um, uh, so yeah, so when I got into it, I wanted to come back to like that sound that made you feel good, that made you want to holler at a chick. Maybe you want to shoot your shot. Maybe you want to do this. Maybe you want to do that. And those are all emotions one way or another. So when you get into it, like those emotions are some things that need to be displayed that haven't been displayed in some time. Yes, you need the emotions because R&B is rhythm and blues. And right now we're getting a lot of rhythm and no blues. So gotta be able to balance and have both. I feel like there is a lackluster version of emotions because like if you go back, not even so far back, but if you even go back to the 90s, there was a vibe there with the emotions and the music. So like if they were heartbroken or they were going through something, they missed their girl or whatever, or they wanted to come get their girl, what you heard that in the music. Nowadays it's just like, oh, I just want to knock you down. Like let me knock you down real quick. You know what I'm saying? Let me move on about my day. And that's pretty much what R&B has become today. And it's very vulgar compared to what I grew up on. It's extremely vulgar sometimes. And you'd be like, what? Really? They saying this? It's like, are we rap artists or are we singers? What are we doing? But that's just me getting older. But yeah, it's off the chain. Yeah, those old R&B days are missing. So I want to try and put that emotion back into music. So that's where it came from.
And not only that, but I asked a couple artists that I've had on my platform, like Cherokee. I asked her. She's a neo soul singer, and one of her songs was supposed to be written originally was supposed to be one of TLC's singles. So she went and performed it, and it became a chart topper. But I asked her the same question about the state of R&B. That was going to be my next question for you. You've mentioned how R&B music is like they really go into detail nowadays into the song, where back in the day, it was a little bit more, how can I say it?
It was more innuendo.
Yeah.
Yeah, left a little thing to the imagination. Nowadays, it's like, we're going to put it all out there in the forefront. Yeah, and it's just like, and it's cool to be that way sometimes, but all of the music don't have to be that way. You know what I'm saying? There are some times where it's like you are in that particular area and it's like, I want to, we need to get down right now. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, do you have to say it that way? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's okay, but like an entire album of the exact same thing throughout the entire album is crazy to me. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've done EPs like bedroom music EPs, like for Valentine's Day and stuff like that. So I've done my share of bedroom cuts, and one of them, like some of them have some taboo language in it, per se, but at the same time, it's relationship stuff. Like if you can't be that way in a relationship, you're in the wrong relationship. So a lot of times when I create my bedroom bangers and I create my hi Sapphire, baby, how you doing? When I create those things, it's for love making, it's for baby making music. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna do it, let's do it this way. You know what I'm saying? But like for a while there, everybody was like, "That's all you sing about." And I was like, "There is albums. I got songs for days that have nothing to do with any of that stuff." You know what I mean? My original roots came from being heartbroken. Like those were my R&B roots. Like my earlier stuff was all like very, very sad emotionally. Just my heart hurts. My heart hurts every single time I sang. And then I got with a young lady and she told me, she was like, nobody wants to hear you crying about how hard you have it in relationships all the time, Camille. You gotta figure something out. So I had to start branching out and start writing about different stuff. She was like, there's more than just heartbreak emotion, heartbreak emotions. So like, go ahead and, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where you need to be. You need to kind of got to give a little bit of everything on the album. Like when I do a full-fledged album, there's like 5 songs with one particular side of emotions, and there's 2 sides to that. And then there's another 5 for a different type of emotion, and there's 2 sides to that. And then there's another 5 with a different type of emotion, and there's 2 sides to that. So like I try to cover all of the basics, you know what I'm saying, when I do a full-fledged album. So yeah, but people ain't listening to full albums no more, so I stopped working that hard to start doing singles and EPs. Like, so that's people's attention spans is back and forth so quickly.
And we have another artist in the building. Shout outs to Liz Manez Music. She's from the New York area. And she wants to know, should there be a common thread in an album? And Sapphire says, have I inspired any of your new music?
Yeah, Sapphire, you've inspired quite a few of them. You know which ones they are because you've heard them. You're my girlfriend, so you know this. So as far as a common thread with an album, I believe that it should have a theme, so you have a goal to work towards. And if you're going to do like the subject content depends on the area of the album. Like, theme placed albums are easier to write versus just putting a bunch of songs together and be like, here's the album, because then it just sounds thrown together. You have artists that tend to do that, but most artists these days have a theme behind what they're doing. Like there's a story behind it. You know what I mean? So story albums and common threads to an extent, it should be a common thread. If you're going to talk about a particular subject or you're going to do a particular decade, like Bruno Mars does, Bruno Mars tends to do like a particular decade of with his albums, 9 songs, you get these 9 songs and they have a decade in it. Like, oh, this is like early 2000s, or this is like 1970s, this is like 1980s, that kind of a thing. And then, like with T-Pain, when he did the Epiphany, it was just like, oh, I am an artist now. So it was like, I get to show y'all what I can do, that kind of a thing. So he was able to do a plethora of different things on that album because he's like, this is my range. You know what I'm saying? And then you have songs in A minor by Alicia Keys. Every song on that project was done in A minor. It was done in A minor. So that was a theme. She stuck to that, you know what I mean? That genre, she stuck to that neo soul thing and she wrote that. And I love that album. That album was fantastic. So it just all depends, you know what I'm saying? Diary of a Mad Band. Like when Jodeci was doing their thing real heavy. Drew Hill, Enter the Drew. Like it was like, all right, y'all heard us sing. Now we get ready to bring y'all into what we actually do. This is what we sound like. Now we've grown together. We got our studio experience. Now we get ready to show y'all something different. So yeah, I mean, like it should have a flow to it. It should have a flow to it, When it says when an artist is placed under the umbrella of world of music, what does that mean to you? When they're placed in an umbrella of art, it means to me that they're going to try and put you in a box.
Oh yeah,
like you're going to be. They're going to try and put you in a box so they can compare you to this person, and compare you to that person, and compare you to this person, and then they pitch y'all one against one another. You know what I mean? And for me, that's like creating tension and competition where there isn't any. You know what I'm saying? We all can eat in this industry. We all create in this industry. We are all after the same thing. So there's no need to be, like, oh, Trey Songz is doing this. Oh, Omarion this. And, they just put them all together, and they're all fighting to be number one at the top. And it's really no need for that. Everybody is still eating regardless. You know what I'm saying? And when you get, like I said, when you put yourself in a box, you stop your own creativity. Like, don't stop your own creativity. You can't be who you are creatively if you are just like, oh, all I do is R&B music. That's all I do. All I do is write. I don't do nothing else. I only produce. That's all I do. So that's don't put yourself in a box.
Again, what we discussed in the beginning of this interview was range. So step outside of your comfort zone and do things that you haven't really done. Like I said, with Fantasia, as I've mentioned, Fantasia, you know. So there's R&B and then there's gospel. So you got to be able to switch it up and have different range. Absolutely.
You know? She says, do you feel that an artist should give the audience what's in and eventually do what they want? I feel like if you follow trends, you're going to continue to follow trends and you're always going to be a gimmick type of an artist. And if you only have that gimmick, when that gimmick is up, now you have to change to create a new gimmick to become a new trend.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like as an artist, that is like the worst way to be creative because you're not being authentic, you're not being your authentic self. If you're going to be your authentic self, no matter what you do, your fans, your people, your team is going to love you for who you are, and they're going to support you no matter what. And that's the difference between being like a gimmick type of a thing. Like TikTok sometimes is very trendy. Like it's real quick. You could blow up really quick on TikTok, real fast, and then you could be popular for like a month, and then you never heard of again. So it just like be consistent at what you do, and eventually it will catch on. Eventually it will catch on, and by the time it catches on, you're gonna have an archive full of music that nobody's ever heard of, and they're gonna enjoy every bit of it because now they've been introduced to you. They know who you are. Let me find out what else he has. Let me see. It was like Vito when Vito finally had that one song, and I was like, he's been doing this a really long time. It's been 10, 15 years, and he finally had a song that finally went somewhere. Now, you can go back 10, 15 years and find out this man's been grinding since then. And now you can hear all of that music and where he went creatively, how he became who he was. And that is the beauty of it all. That is the beauty of it all, period, as an independent artist. That's what you want. You want to continue to be your authentic self until it begins to pay off. And continue to be your authentic self because you never had to change.
Who are some dream writers and producers that you would like to work with in the future?
Dream writers. Priscilla Renee, aka Money Long.
I love
definitely want to write with her.
Love her.
Definitely want to write with her. She wrote most of the 2000s. just keeping it all the way 100. Jermaine Dupri is somebody that I would love for him to produce like a track for me. Jonta Austin is another one. He's amazing at writing. And I think he's one of my favorite writers. And Neo's another writer that I would love to work with. I forgot that guy's name. But the guy that produced Silk's Tonight album, I can't remember his name right off the top of my head. But that album, from the up-tempos to the slow jams, that brother put his foot in that album. As far as the beats and the arrangements and the vocals, the mixing, that to me was just like amazing. You had 5 voices to work with and all of them were heard in one track or another throughout the entire album. You know what I'm saying? You had your lead singers, but you heard everybody throughout that entire album. And I feel like that was probably one of the most complete albums I've ever heard. Like, for me, that would be whoever produced that. I can't remember his name, but whoever produced that, that would be my dream production. That would be the guy. Like, come here, come produce for me. Let's work together. Let's do this. That would be that guy. Because I want that. Explore all of the ranges in my voice. Let's do everything. I'm with it. So yeah, those are some of the people I would love to work with. Dream to work with. Tank is another one I would love to work with. Just awesome.
He is amazing. And when you've mentioned Money Long, I think about the song Hours and Hours because I have been listening to that song all week on repeat. It is one of my favorites. She's for Ariana Grande, Kelly Clarkson, and so many others. Wow, she's had such a prolific songwriting career.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she has. Yeah, definitely. She's written for, like I said, she wrote most of the 2000s. Like when you hear the 2000s music, if it was R&B, she had her hand in it. 2010, she had her hand in it. Some way, somehow, you heard something that she wrote. She's dope. She's super dope.
All right, Fashion Dolls, it is time for our games with Cameo. The first one is called the Rapid 5. And Cameo has to tell me 5 things that he can't live without. And the next one is called Pass the Mic. And in this segment, I'm going to name some iconic singers. and you give me one word to describe them. All right, so what are 5 things that Cameo can't do without? It can be music related, life, whatever you want.
I can't live without my singing voice. I gotta have it. It's a must now. It's a part of my life. I can't live without AC. I need air conditioner in the cool, and when it's hot out, I need to be cool. I need to have my studio. Like, without music, I'm not who I am. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I need to have that. And my son, my baby boy, it's my heart and soul. He's gonna be 3 this year, Lord, today. So yeah, that's he's my heart and soul. And my family, my girlfriend, those kinds of things. Those are the type of things I can't live without. I need all of that to be who I am. So I think that's 5. Is that 5? Yeah, that's 5.
You put it into family and 2 things that are personal and that are sacred to you, and that is family and music. So 100%.
Yes, for sure, for sure. Yeah, family and music. I'm trying to tell you, gotta have them. Gotta have them. If I don't have those, just I won't be me.
When did you realize that music was your calling? And that comes from Liz. I didn't even see the comments. I was so focused on Cameo. I'm trying to say.
We got another one. It says, do you feel age should not matter in the world of music? No, age doesn't matter at all, because music is fluid. It is fluid. Like, matter of fact, it's there was an older guy that went viral. I know he went viral a couple years ago, but he was singing in a train station. He was singing Unchained Melody. That man had to be pushing 50, 60 years old, and he is now a celebrity. So no, age doesn't matter at all whatsoever, because music is timeless. So how can you put an age on something that's timeless?
And I'm gonna add something onto that, Cameo. You guys know the Staple singers, Mavis Staples. I was watching an interview with her, and this woman says that she's been singing. She says, "Well, I'm 8." She jumped up there, and this is the type of energy that she had. She said, "I'm 80 years old, and I'm gonna keep on going, and I'm gonna keep on going." She's 80 years old, and she's still doing music. So when it comes to following your heart's passions and desires, go for it. You're never too old, and we have to get out of that. It's a lot of ageism from the industry that I'm in, fashion to modeling to singing, songwriting. It's never too late. She says that I'm going to rock the wheels off on the microphone on this thing. I'm going to continue to sing until I can't sing anymore. Those were Mavis Staples.
Facts.
So yeah.
Facts. I realized music was my calling when I was about 19. Like, because I won my first competition at 19. I was with the group at first, and then like the group dispersed, but I went ahead and I decided I wanted to sing anyway. Like, the group had fell apart and everything, and I went on stage. I didn't have no beat. I didn't have no music. I didn't have nothing but a microphone and my voice. And I stood in the middle of that auditorium and I sang my heart out, and people loved it. I got a standing ovation and I won that competition. So at that point, I knew that was what I needed to be doing. That's what I needed to do. That's where I needed to be. So yeah, 19.
It's at a young age. I mean, children even pick up playing instruments and stuff at a very young age, whether it's banging on pots and pans. And I bring up another singer as well too. A lot of artists get it from sound, like Coco from SWV. She said that she would call home when she was on tour with her group, and she would hum sounds as cartoon characters and things, and that's how she picked it up. And she has an amazing range and staying power. She's able to hold it there. And a lot of artists pick it up by sound. They pick music up by sound. So it's different for every artist.
Yep, it definitely is. Yeah. For me, it was more vocal. Like, everything that I did was all vocal. Like, my dad would tell me, he was like, you can sing anything. You can sing a stop sign. You can sing it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, everything that I ever learned was all vocal. I didn't get into instruments until I ran into the problem of paying for beats that I couldn't use after I got out of the studio. So I was like, I got to pick this up. I got to learn how to do this, because nobody is going to produce my sound the way I want it but me. So I had to get into it and learn it. And music theory was my best friend. So like and then I became like, ooh, I hear the third, I hear the fifth, I hear the seventh. Ooh, I hear this, I hear that. Oh, that would be dope if we did this and that kind of a thing. So yeah, definitely.
Oh, we got another question for you. How do these words make you feel? Shadow, glitter, liquid, destiny, and clear.
Shadow makes me feel like behind the scenes, like I'm gonna come out, but I'm waiting. Glitters, sparkly, like I'm out here, I'm flamboyant, I'm with it. Liquid means I'm fluid, I'm going to adapt to whatever I'm put into. Destiny means that I am going to be here and I'm going to be something regardless because it's destined to be. Flair means you get all of me, you get the whole kit and caboodle, there's no hold back. That's what those words make me feel like.
All right, fashion dolls. Let's get into it. It is time to pass the mic. So I'm gonna go down a list of iconic singers, and Cameo here has to tell me one word to describe all of these singers. Okay, so the first one I'm going to start with is the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin.
Powerhouse. Love her voice. Emotional. Powerhouse. We just say powerhouse. That's the first one. Powerhouse. First
okay. We have coming up next Marvin Gaye.
Soulful. Soulful.
Smokey Robinson.
Love his writing. He's a writer. Pen game. Crazy. Pen game. Crazy.
Okay.
Motown. Motown is what comes to mind. Motown.
All right. Johnny Gill.
Sang. Sang. Just sang.
All right. Patti LaBelle.
Range. Just that range. Ridiculous range.
All right. And last but certainly not least, Cameo Holiday.
Underrated. Underrated.
Yeah. Brown says Patty is a...
My time's coming.
And manifestation, it definitely is coming, because if I didn't see that video on YouTube, we wouldn't be here having this conversation. And I was just blown away by your covers. Like, again, you range. Patti LaBelle having range, but you also have range. And I love the fact that you're able to switch it up on whatever single it is, whatever cover that you're doing, whatever song that you're covering. So we've got
for sure.
For you. And it is.
I got another question.
Yeah.
Your strength as a man. I'm consistent as a man. You know, not as an artist, not as but I am consistent as a man. If you ask me to do something and you need me to be there, I'm going to be there. So my strength as a man is my consistency. If you need it, I got you. That is my strength as a man. Consistency.
and more
some interesting questions.
As you've mentioned in the beginning of the interview, it's all about dedication and sticking to your purpose as well, to whatever it is that God has put out here for you. Go for it. I'm all about it.
For sure. Because if when it's meant to be, it will be. When it's meant to be, it will be.
Absolutely, and it's coming. So my last question for you is, what's next for Cameo Holiday? What can we expect next?
I have a blues project that I'm going to be dropping in the next month or so.
All right.
If you go to my YouTube, there's a song on there called Finally. And it's very soulful, and it has like the 6/8 time blues vibe to it. And I sang. Go check that one out. And I got a whole EP with that vibe. And my song Sweet Love that I posted on Instagram a couple weeks ago, or well, a week ago or so, that's going to be on the album. So go check those out. Go check those out. That's going to be what's next. That's going to be what's next. And then after that, me and my friend Harold that I mentioned earlier in the interview, we're going to be dropping an album in August. So be looking out for that. So yeah. And then the top of next year, I got a Woman's Appreciation EP that I'm working on, and that'll be dropping in January. So y'all be looking out. Yes, I'm on Apple too. I'm everywhere. Thanks to DistroKid.
Ooh, we got a question from Liz. What childhood still holds true to you till now?
What childhood truth, she said?
I guess
I can't even read it.
Yes, what does childhood still hold true to you till now? Childhood memory.
Childhood memory still holds true to me now. Childhood memory still holds true to me to this day. That I'm gonna be somebody. That I am destined to be somebody. Now, who that somebody is, he's coming to fruition. He's coming to the forefront. But that I am going to be somebody. I'm going to be a big deal, a real big deal, really soon, really soon.
Sapphire.
Thank you, V Brown, man.
Sapphire. Yeah. That song finally is what made me want to hear more.
Yes, that song is. Y'all go check it out. Go check it out. It speaks for itself. It speaks for itself. I'm not gonna hype it up or nothing. Just go check it out. Just go check it out. And yeah, let me know what y'all think of that. It's got gospel harmonies in it and stuff. It's very soulful. It's off the chain with it. And the new stuff is just as good, if not better. And it's an old recording, but I think I think people will enjoy it just for the nostalgic vibe it gives. So yeah, definitely go check it out. Definitely go check it out. It's one of my favorites.
All right, Fashion Dolls. So I'm gonna let Cameo take it out and close out this amazing conversation and interview. So what piece of advice would you give to up-and-coming singers and songwriters that are looking to follow in you and Liz's footsteps, and V Brown actors that are looking to become artists and singers and songwriters? What advice would you give to them?
Like I said, stay consistent and be your authentic self. No matter what people say or what people do, continue to be authentic and be the true you at all times. Okay? Money doesn't change people. It only brings out who they are.
Absolutely.
Okay? So stay true to who you are. Your artistry is who you are, and don't compromise that for anybody. Your artistry, it will catch on. It will catch on. There's an audience for everyone out here. So don't ever think that what you're doing isn't enough or it's not happening fast enough, because everybody else's success will be your success at your time. Maybe God says you're not quite ready for it just yet. You know what I'm saying? But stay consistent and continue to do what you do. Continue to do what you do. It's going to come. It's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen.
And we got a question, one more question from Liz. She says, being in the arts, that's all types of strength. And has there ever been a moment when you felt like walking away?
No. When I fell in love with music, I consider music to be my wife. Okay? I consider her to be my wife. And in my life as a wife, I don't divorce. So we're in this to win this. Regardless of where it takes us, we are in this regardless. I have never felt like, oh, I'm going to just stop doing music.
Right.
Nah, never that. Because like it wasn't paying the bills when I started, but when it starts paying the bills, I'll be even happier. So I'm fine where I'm at, but I want to be to a level of success where I can sell out an arena, or I can go somewhere and I can be paid to do what I do. And I've already accomplished some of those things. I've flown to Chicago. I've flown to Texas. I've flown to Utah, and I performed at all of these places. I've been in Boston. I've sang in Boston. I did the the rock and roll competition that they had at the Hard Rock Cafe in Chicago. All of these things, I've done these things. So for me to be like, oh no, it ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? That would be me giving up on myself. And I'm not a quitter. Far from it. Sometimes I get low, but I never feel like I'm gonna walk away from music. Well, music is my wife at the end of the day. She's gonna be there through every situation. She's gonna figure out a way to get me out of it. Whatever funk that I'm in, I'm gonna write something about it. She's gonna help me out of it. Anything that I'm going through, she's gonna help me out of it. So, like, no, I'll never give up on music because she's never given up on me.
I know Sapphire is probably punching the air right now. No, you're not about to put music first before me. But it's equal love, girl. It's equal love.
For sure.
All right.
For sure. She's all right.
And B. Brown Actor says he quits music like every week, but now I'm inspired. Thank for this word. And Liz says that music to me is like the air I breathe.
Facts. Facts. And V. Brown, man, don't quit on yourself, man. Quitting music is like quitting on yourself. Do you ever feel, like V. Brown in particular, do you ever feel like when you quit music that you lose a part of yourself? Because I know if I did, that's what, my life ain't right when I'm not doing music. It's a part of me. It's like my arm. I can't go nowhere without my arm. You know what I'm saying? It's my fingers. You don't know that they're important until something's broken. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, it's important, man. Your music is who you are. That's why you can't stop. That's why you can't stop. You said you quit every other week, but every other week you come back to it.
And you pick up that inspiration
Yeah.
from where to keep writing and keep just flourishing and saying, okay, this is what I want to do with this. I feel like I lost something. That's what he said.
Yes, definitely, man. You gotta keep moving. Woo, there's a whole lot.
Sapphire says, I trust that it's equal. And Liz says, we create. You know what, Liz? I'm going to add on to that. I was telling one artist just a few days back, I said, singers and songwriters are like the doctors to people. You prescribe medicine to us because it's like you already know what a person is going through, whether it's heartbreak or happiness or just feeling in love or being in love or in that moment or falling out of love. It's like singers and songwriters know what a person is instantly thinking. And when we put on that single or we put on that song, it's just like, wow, they're speaking lyrics that I can relate to because I have been through this situation as well also.
Yes. And singers and songwriters, it's I can't say it's our job, but it's our way of helping the world. You know, like truckers, they help by keeping food and stuff on the shelves. You know what I'm saying? And make sure that everything is stocked up. As a singer and songwriter, you are there to heal the world one way or another. Maybe you're going through a heartbreak, and maybe this song helps you out of it. Maybe you hear something like that, or you know, maybe you're really happy. You want to learn to express yourself some way, somehow. You know, like do y'all remember "I'll Make Love to You"? Y'all remember that video where old boy started writing down the song lyrics and he gave it to the girl? Music does it, man. Yes, we are like therapists. We can be definitely like therapists. We go through a lot and we put our emotions out there for the world to hear. So, like, yeah, by all means, you know, if I can help save the world one heartbreak at a time, by all means, that's exactly what I'm going to do. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
And that's what the purpose, again, it's that God-given purpose. So that's what it's for out here.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Fashion Dolls, any last questions, any last thoughts? Let them know where they can follow you. This was such a great conversation. We're both connecting on the same connection of music, which is something that I love, something that you love also. So let everyone know where they can follow you and check you out at.
Okay, you can follow me on Instagram, which is CDH, the letter CDH, GOT, as in got, I got something, vocals. You can find me on all platforms under that moniker, CDH Got Vocals. Find me on YouTube, you can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Facebook, you can even find me on SoundCloud, you can find me on TikTok under the same thing.
Let's help emotionally heal one at a time. Absolutely.
For sure.
And
For sure.
the
Yes.
soundtrack to my life, Liz says the soundtrack of her life. The soundtrack of my life would have to be the Mary J. Blige My Life album. That literally has gotten me through. So yeah, and congrats to Mary on that Billboard Music Icon
Yes.
Award, and happy birthday to my girl.
Yes.
My well, she's my best friend, but Janet Jackson's birthday is today, y'all. So
Awesome.
all right, fashion dog.
Awesome.
It was so great talking with you, Cameo, and I definitely would love to have you back again in the future.
For sure. I'm all for it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you. Have me again. I'm all for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was such a pleasure having you here. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, we get spicy. Miss TJ Sauce is going to be here. She's the first Black woman to ever have her barbecue sauce put on the menu of the Hilton. So she's going to be here tomorrow. Definitely tune in tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
Okay.
Take care,
Okay.
Fashion Dog.
Thank you. Have a good one.